My first question is, what do you do, or what did you do, and how long have you been in your field, or how long were you in your field? Yeah.
I was a stylist and I did it for about 20 years.
Well, I guess, what made you choose this field, and did formal education help you prepare for it at all? Or
I think that the misconception about our field is I didn't formally train for it, and most people don't formally train for it. I don't really know, except for maybe at FIT, which is a very industry-driven school. I don't think anybody really has a major for it. I think it was helpful in a way that I had a liberal arts undergrad, but then a design graduate degree, which wasn't even in fashion, it was in industrial design. But so much of these stories are sort of based on referencing either historical moments or popular culture moments, or maybe an old film, that sometimes it's almost better not to just know fashion, because you're kind of using clothes to tell a story. So to really be able to make those connections to those references is with clothes, it's really handy to have a good, strong, just general knowledge of culture and literature and history and stuff.
and what made you choose design?
I was just kind of floating. I didn't know what to do with my life. My parents freaked out. They sent me to one of those career counselor people, and she did all these like tests on my personality and like where my talents were. And she was like, "You should probably be looking at design. You have a good sense of spatial relations." And so I started studying industrial design, and then I just got a job out of school at an Italian magazine called Amica, which is owned by Rizzoli. I was based in New York, but I was in the New York office because Rizzoli, I don't know if you know Rizzoli, it's a big Italian publishing conglomerate.
Oh,
They own like a lot of the newspapers and magazines, plus they do a lot of art books, they do a lot of high-end.
oh, that's really interesting.
Yeah.
Well, what are the main three job skills that you think are needed for your field? I guess probably knowledge of history.
Well, just a good foundational knowledge. I think you need you need to have a strong eye for details, because you don't want to miss things. I mean, now with digital photography, you don't have to be as precise, but again, the picture always looks better the less you have to mess with it. So you still want to make sure you're not letting things slide. And you need to be really organized, because you have, hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of clothing and jewelry and stuff that you're on loan to from showrooms. Or if you're doing a commercial thing and you don't get to get stuff from showrooms, you're buying a lot of stuff and it all has to go back to the store. So it's a lot of shopping and returning.
Yeah.
And you don't want to lose a shirt or something and then be over your budget and have to bite that expense. So
Yeah. Well, I know that you're not currently working in the field, but how have you seen it change over the last 10 to 20 years? And where do you think it'll go?
I have no idea where it'll go. I called a friend of mine last night. I'm like, I know, what do I say? I have no idea anymore what's going on. She's like, me either. I do think the major change has come with just with everything going online. I don't think our industry's found a way to really make money anymore on that. So budgets are slashed. Like, I know everybody's fees have gone down, but the amount of shots they're supposed to get per day have gone up. And, newsprint is dead pretty much. And I don't think I don't know how it's going to look in the future, but I don't think they've figured it out yet either. It's still in that transition phase, kind of like music went through when Napster first came on the scene. You used to sell a Vogue, right? And now you just can go online and log on to Vogue.com. So they've got to figure out, you know, like you were at least guaranteed the cover price of the magazine. So the budgets were a little more stable. Now, I guess they do it through advertising, but there's, I don't even know. Maybe it is sorted out and I'm just so far behind the times that I don't know.
How do you think your field has changed during the pandemic? Like how does, yeah.
I do know some of that because I still have friends that are working. I mean, I did my last shoot last fall. So, or not last fall, the fall before pandemic hit. I think nobody was working, but I did read some people are doing Zoom shoots, and I don't know how that works exactly, but they're somehow working over making shoots happen online.
Yeah.
But I do know I was talking to another friend of mine, and she's just had her first job in like a year.
Oh, okay.
So
Well,
yeah.
looking up.
Yeah, because you can't really not socially, you know, you can't social distance really well at this job.
Well, what advice would you give to a person that's starting out in like design and fashion?
I mean, the only thing I know, which, and they still have offices, so it's still got to be a way. Like, I would just try and get internships at a magazine. Like, you know, in college, start already, depending on where you go to school. So if you're in New York, start hitting up like Condé Nast and, you know, places like Harper's Bazaar, or Vanity Fair, or something like that, and try and get an internship in those fashion departments, because you will inevitably either be working with, you know, if you work in the fashion department, you'll be working with editors and stuff like that. And that's where you'll get the connections to figure out what to do next. All right. Well, thank you.
Thank you. Have a nice day.
You too. Bye.
Bye.